It is I, Ashley, the Pie Trader, in my new apartment, living the vida loca. I'm just enjoying some dinner right now. It's I don't know, the camera's on face tracking, but it's some nice tofu, rice, and some beans, spinach, everything nice and healthy, right? And see if I can get the face tracking to turn off here, so you can see the view outside. Yeah, let's turn it around. Ooh, and you can see my beautiful view out here now. I can't clean the outside of the windows, unfortunately. But yeah, living la vida loca. So I thought I'd like to keep things a bit more personal on the YouTube. And someone asked a general question, right, about who am I? Right? Who the devil am I? Why do I do trading? Why did I get into this field? And the reality is I just wanted to travel and earn some money. So I didn't go through the traditional means of Instagram, where people will pay, well not pay, they get marketed to and sold the dream life. I knew what dream life I wanted. It was just finding what vehicle was going to enable that. And yeah, I looked at all the options available. So I looked at SSMA, drop shipping, all of these different methods of making an income. And prior to me making the decision to travel and whatnot, I worked in sales. And prior to sales, I worked in the fitness industry. You wouldn't tell it now, but I used to be an incredibly fit gentleman. So then the kind of next phase of my life is getting back to that condition. So I said to many people, just give me 6 months. I know what I need to do. It's just time that stands in my way. And time stands in everyone's way, but I've done it many times, gotten fit, unfit, etc. And I'm looking to just do it again. And it's never fun, but I do what I have to do because I must. If you look at your friends, family, older generations, you can tell the ones that have been inactive their whole life versus the active people. And I want to be a part of the active category because I know if I don't, it's not going to look good. Especially when you get to your the latter parts of your life, 60, 70. It's sad to see because if you don't keep up the pace, you could be in the same boat, right? So it's really important in that aspect. Anyway, I'm waffling on. So yeah, I worked in the fitness industry. I studied sports physical activity and health at university, and I really enjoyed the experience of university. I'm not the smartest of characters, so I don't think it was the right option for me. But in the UK, it feels like if you don't do university, you'll be a nobody, right? And it's not until you get older in life that you realise either you don't need the degree or experience is more potent in certain fields than a qualification from university. So yeah, I enjoyed my experience there. I didn't walk away with the best of degrees, but I walked away. And yeah, that's when I decided I wanted to pursue my dream of travelling and earning income. And the first experience on that front was working on cruise ships. And it wasn't as hard as you think to get a job on cruise ships in my field. So I was in the fitness field. So I looked at working in the gyms, and I very simply went to Google, fitness jobs on cruise ships. Came across a company, I think it was called Steiner. I'm not sure if they're still around. And, I went to a recruitment day, and it's all very kind of, they sell the dream, right, about working on cruise ships, and they tell you about the reality, but they smoke screen it a little bit. And that's okay because I'm not doing it necessarily for the money. I'm doing it for the idea of making an income, traveling and moving around the world, not necessarily stuck in a cubicle. So this was my first, I wouldn't say entrepreneurial journey, but it was a way, it's commission only that the job was, so it was kind of. But it was a way of living an untraditional life because I'm not a man of tradition. I want to do what I want to do. I don't want to do what I'm told to do. If I want to do something, I'll do it my way or no other way, because I feel like my way, it's me, it's my brand. Like, I don't want to be like the other shills especially in this industry. But I wanted to earn an income or live a life that I wanted, not dictated by money, but dictated by happiness, right? Because I feel like some people, they just don't want to be happy in life, they just want to make money. And the two can go hand in hand, but it's important to focus on the happiness, and then the money will come if you focus on a certain skill. So yeah, I worked on cruise ships, and on the cruise ships I was the fitness director, and the job was to sell health products. And it was an interesting experience. I had a lot of fun for sure, but it feels like a prison at times, because at the end of the day you are locked in a shell. This big beautiful ship, but you can go out and play, but you have to come back. And it was so many good memories from there. Met so many good humans from different parts of the world. Africa, Philippines, South Africa, America, and then other parts of the cruise ships you get people from all around Eastern Europe in general. So you meet like a big Haribo mix of people, and we all have similar mindsets, in the sense that we wanted to travel, make money, and you can tell everyone wants to be doing something different. They don't want to follow the grain. And a lot of those people that I still speak to now from those days are doing their own thing. Some of them still are doing like a massage, because I worked in the spa, right, with the fitness stuff. A lot of them are still doing the shopping experience stuff, so selling high quality jewelry. And they find their edge in life that makes them money and it makes them happy, because I think the two can go hand in hand over time, and it's about finding the right way to do it. So I did that for 2 years. So after 2 years of working on a cruise ship, so I had to pause it there. I just realised I've not got my microphone on. I wasn't sure whether the camera had a built-in mic. It does, so apologies for the audio. I've only just clocked onto it. And where was I? I just finished working on cruise ships, and I enjoyed the experience. Worked with so many great people doing so many amazing things, and then they're still doing some amazing things, a lot of them now as well. So then I got into car sales, and I enjoyed car sales. I really did, but it's very tough industry. You're working most hours of the day. You're expected to work more on top of working days off. You only get 1 day off a week, right? So it's a very, very tough industry. And when I joined, it was a down period for the market, the car market in general. So, I had to do business in that kind of environment. And like I said, I enjoyed the job, but just, it was tough, really tough. And sometimes I felt like I was doing incredible for the leads that I was getting. I was one of the top sales reps for insurance, right? So when you buy a car, you have like Gap, wheel insurance, windshield insurance, all these different insurances, right? And I would just talk to people like, look, legally I have to cover these things, and you might not want them, but they are really good products and they do come in handy, and we've looked at your car and there is some relevance there. So like I said, I have to just go through this check sheet and went through it. But I would talk to them, Remember that at the end of the day, sales is just communication, right? You're communicating one product to a potential buyer, because everyone's looking to buy stuff all the time. We're humans, and it's the environment that we live in. So if you have a good product, it's really easy to sell. It's only hard to do sales if you're selling a rubbish product, I found. So that's why whenever I have decided to represent a product or be a sales rep for any company, I just made sure the product is good. So I can at least go to the grave knowing that I've not sold anything dodgy. And then following that, I got into medical sales, because I just kind of packed it in. I thought, no, I'm going to pursue my degree, working in health, and I've built all these skills in sales, so I want to work on sales. And it all sounds good on paper and in your mind, but then when it comes to the application and doing the job, it was horrible. It was probably one of the worst jobs I've ever had in my life, because I inherited a really bad area. The previous sales rep didn't look after the area. So I had to just try and make it work, but I couldn't make it work. I really enjoyed the management, but I just didn't enjoy the job. And I got sick of it. Got really sick of doing that. So I booked a one-way ticket to India the next week and just handed in my notice, and that was it. I just started traveling, and prior to traveling, I looked up how to make money online, and that was when I looked at the different avenues in front of me, and I decided trading. Lo and behold, did I not realize how difficult the journey would be, and is, and it always is. And I'm luckily, to be one of the guys that have made some money out of it, and more money than I've spent, thankfully. And there are periods where I've gone through times where I was making exceptional money and lost it all, right? But that's another video. That's for another time. So yeah, when I was traveling India, it was a great experience. But India is a very beautiful country, but it's a very intense country, and you won't know that until you've been there. And it's a shame because it has so much potential to be an incredible country, but when you're a white tourist or any tourist outside of India, they see you as like a walking wallet, right? So they might talk to you to be friendly, but 99% of the time they're talking to you because you're a walking wallet, and they want your money, and it's more ill intent. You know what I mean? They're trying to build relationships for the purpose of making money, not to get to know me or my culture or why I'm here, why I picked India. And then if they are interested, at the end of it, they're like, "Oh, give me a tip for what? Show me around the corner." It just seems really, their only intent to talk to me was to take money. But it's here nor there. It's a beautiful country, but I don't think I'll be going there again anytime soon if I have to. But yeah, during that time as well, after my experience in India, I went to Sri Lanka, beautiful place, surfed. It's one of the most underrated countries that never gets spoken about. It's an incredible place, and so if you're looking for a honeymoon, I couldn't recommend anywhere more beautiful, because if you like traveling, you can do the whole country in 2 weeks probably. And if you just want luxury, they have an immense luxury scene there, hotel-wise. If you're just looking for raw beauty, it's everywhere. It's incredible. So that's my hot take, hot spot. So if you're looking for somewhere new to go traveling or on holiday, Sri Lanka, I can guarantee you'll have one of the best experiences of your life. So after Sri Lanka, I went to Vietnam, and I traveled the whole of Vietnam on a motorbike. And I loved the experience. It was incredible. It's the most time that I felt most free, and so many stories there as well. But I don't want to get lost in the sauce on that. Then when I went to Thailand, and I volunteered at a hostel as a party rep, right? So that was some crazy time. So if you ever see me in my gym gear, which you'll see in future videos, I still wear the same clothing from that because they're nice vests. And after Thailand, I think Cambodia, or maybe Cambodia after Vietnam. Cambodia was nice, but a very been there, done that kind of country. Beautiful, but wouldn't go there again if I had to. And then I worked and lived in Australia for a year. Once again, incredible experience. So I'm trying to, because I waffle a bit too much, so I'm trying to keep it on lock about why I got into trading and how I got there. And during this whole time, when I was in Vietnam, Thailand, I was really trying to push the limits of trading, but I was trading my own personal account. I ran up a 10k account to 25k, but then within a week, I lost the account, and that was just because I didn't know what I was doing. I was just copy trading or, trying to take trades that didn't make sense. They were just high risk, right? So it's part of the journey, right? When you're learning to trade. And then when I got to Australia, that's when I really kind of locked into the studying side of trading, which probably would have been my second year in, right? And whilst I was doing my farm work, I spent the afternoon studying trading and learning certain markets. So I focused on things like gold and pound Aussie. And, I wasn't doing any courses. I was watching a bit of YouTube, but I wanted to figure it out on my own. It's just one of those things that I've decided to do, and I'm not traditionally taught, so all of my terminologies is just unique to me and how I interpret markets, not from a textbook, right? So that's why if you watch my videos, they sound a bit funny, the way I describe certain patterns or movements, because it's just me, it's just how I call it, what I call it, and it is what it is, right? And then I gained some momentum and I managed to make some money. And then I went to Vietnam, and on the way to prior to going to Vietnam, I sold my body to science. So many more stories to this as well. So I'm trying to, to layer it up for another video. So yeah, that was how I got introduced to trading. We'll leave it at that. That's how I got introduced to trading. So we'll do a part 2, and I'll explain what happened from there. So thanks for your time. I hope you're enjoying your food. I assume you're eating. That's typically what I do when I'm watching YouTube. So as usual, peace and love.